Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Skye and today we are trying out Dieverune Cosmetics for the first time using the Gloomy Gardens palette. If you don't know, Dieverune Cosmetics are a US-based indie brand and they are run by M. Jones 5018 moniker. She is a beloved member of the indie makeup community and I am so proud of her. This is her second release. Their first release was The Moth and the Moon and I very almost purchased it, but the timing just wasn't correct for me, and I think it's actually discontinued now. I think they're bringing it back as singles. But anyways, when I saw the Gloomy Gardens palette, I just knew that I had to try it. And actually, this is a present from my mum for my birthday, so thanks mummy for buying this for me. I've had this palette in my possession for about a week, and I have not touched it, because I've been waiting to film a video and it's finally time. I'm so excited. So in these first impressions, you know the drill. We are going to be swatching the palette, talking about the shades, doing a look, and then talking about the shipping experience and all of that. So let's get into it. This is the Gloomy Gardens palette. I have the sleeve on still, so there's a bit of information at the back here. It says, "Enter the Gloomy Garden Fair. You'll find a hidden secret there. A secret spot for you and me where life blooms magically." I fucking love shit like that, man. Yeah, you take off the sleeve and the palette has the same packaging as the sleeve. However, on the back, it actually has all the shade names because as you can see inside the actual palette, oh, it's so pretty! The actual palette doesn't have its shade names on it, but I think that's because it actually has these wells here that you can just pop shadows out really easily, and you can make this into like your own custom palette, which I love. You know me, one of my biggest pluses when it comes to eyeshadow palettes is that they're magnetized. Like, I know it's a bit more expensive to make, but it's so worth it for me. And also the shade names being on the back, this might be very hyper-specific to content creators, but like, I can just hold up the palette and then just read the name on the back instead of having to like look. So I like that detail. The packaging itself is gorgeous, like all of the flowers are really glossy. This writing is actually raised and tactile, which I think more brands should be doing because I think like tactile packaging is really accessible for a lot of people. And on the spine it also says Gloomy Gardens in tactile font. And in the palette the design carries over to the mirror. You have a nice big mirror here and it is a 15 pan palette and I love the arrangement of this palette. I love the two mattes and then shimmers at the bottom. It visually is so appealing to me. I think I'm going to be swatching it by column, like color story, instead of like row by row like I normally do because you gotta keep the integrity of the colour story. And I'll be swatching all of these on this arm right here with no eyeshadow primer. I will be going over the swatches a couple of times, especially with the mattes if they need to, just so you can see the colour. So the first shade we have here is Somber Succulent, and this is a moss green matte. That is brilliant pigment straight off the bat, but I will build it up. Can't lie, that is not my finest swatch, but we'll move forward. Next shade is Weeping Willow, and this is a sage green matte. That's perfect. Okay, I've never done this before, but I'm actually gonna re-swatch Somber Succulent because I want to take Instagram pictures after this, like, swatch sesh, so, I am gonna take that off and re-swatch it to make it aesthetic. I know y'all probably don't care, but I do. That is a much prettier swatch. We're going into the first metallic of the palette and I picked up far too much on my finger, but this is Emo Echidna. Shit dog. That is literally everything I want in a green eyeshadow. Oh, that reminds me of like Terra Moon's Coalescence, which is one of my favourite shadows of all fucking time. Next we have Huffy Hydrangea, a turquoise matte. This next shade is Forlorn Foxgrove. I didn't show the initial first swipe because I really butchered the name. A very pretty grey-based blue. And the metallic in this column is Glum Gladiolus. It's one of those really pretty greyish blue bases with like a pink and gold shine. Moving on to the orange row, we have Morning Marigold. This is a proper bright tangerine colour. Next we have a creamsicle colour called Dismal Dandelions. This one kind of blends into my skin a bit because it's a peachy pastel. The shimmer in this column is called Distressed Daisy, and this, oh my goodness. That is so wonderful. It has the same base as the previous shade, like that creamsicle colour, but it has green, peach and orange shifts. That is gorgeous. The purple column, we have Morose Magnolia. I love these names. I absolutely love the names in this palette. They really straight up said, I'm sticking with this theme. It's like a nice cranberry matte. This grey-based lilac is Wistful Wisteria. I love the alliteration as well. It's pleasing my English brain. I did English language and literature at GCSE, and if I went to university I would have taken English. I love that subject. The last shade in this column is Frowny Forsythia. I have never heard of a Forsythia before. I'm gonna assume it's a plant, but this is a beautiful, like, purpley neutral sort of shade. It's got a lot of silver shine to it. I love shades like this for, like, neutral looks. Like, I fucking love that. This is a charcoal grey called Dahlia of Despair. Fucking, what a metal name. That is like a name of a band. Dahlia of Despair. I love that. It's very smooth. Penultimate shade is a taupe, excuse my stained finger. This is Moody Morning Glory. Now, I know Morning Glory is a flower, but yesterday my co-worker told me that Morning Glory is slang in the UK for a boner. So now I can't unsee boner when I see Morning Glory. And the final shade is an iridescent called Melancholy Moonflower. Oh my goodness. There's a bit of grey in there. Let me use another finger. Oh my god. That is a gorgeous, like, multi-chrome. That is a... how do I describe that? From straight on, it's pink and purple, and then when you turn, it is green and blue. That is perfection. But these are the swatches of Gloomy Gardens. I absolutely love this colour story. It's so me. Now let's get into creating a awesome look with this one. I was literally brainstorming earlier of what look to do with this, and I think I want to use, like, these greys and purples with a pop of this green, because, like, I have to use this green. It would be sacrilege if I didn't. So starting off, we're using the Milani eyeshadow primer, and we're not gonna set it. I'm honestly really happy that I waited to try Dieverune Cosmetics, because while I loved the look of the Moth and the Moon, I really think that this palette is way more my speed. Like, I just love all the tones in here. So I'm first gonna go in with Moody Morning Glory, and I'm gonna take that in my crease. I didn't make any comments while I was swatching about, like, the formula, but from what I've felt of the matte formula, it has, like, a good thickness to it. Like, they're not super thin, but they're very creamy and silky. But not, like, thin silky, like, thick silky. Does that make sense? They have some sustenance to them. They've been eating their fruits and veggies. And look at that. I have barely touched into that, and that is just so... oh, look at that! I'm gonna bring this all the way back to my temples. You know, you know. I'm also gonna take that bit on my lower lash. I think I want to use, like, that sea foamy, like, shade right here. So far, so good. Honestly, these mattes are behaving like Glaminatrix mattes, which y'all know. It's one of my favourite formulas. Also Blend Bunny. Like, they feel a bit like that. I am now gonna take Dahlia of Despair. I want to make a band with that name. Make a band. Me? No. Any band people, if you're looking for a name. Dahlia of Despair. Actually, maybe consult Dieverune Cosmetics if you can use that name. I'm gonna take that on my favourite Nabla Cosmetics, like, tiny blending brush, and I'm gonna tap that on the outer corner, and then I'll bring it out as well. But I just want to first see how this pigment works. Working in small sections. Because I do love a grey, but sometimes they are finicky to work with. But so far so good. I'm really making sure that this is nice and blended because I want this to be like super seamless and smoky, and that I've gone back in like over and over blending on top of that, and that's not like lost any pigment, and that's just stayed strong and smoky. I'm now gonna put this on the lower lash, just on the outer portion, just to connect. I am actually so fucking impressed. I don't sound like excited. I am hungry. I'm hungry. Now I'm contemplating for my lid doing like something sparkly, or if leaving it matte might be better. I'm really heavily actually leaning towards being matte. I think I'm gonna take the shade Wistful Wisteria, and I'm gonna maybe mix that in with Moody Morning Glory because I want to bring in a bit of purple into this, so I'm just gonna put that on my lid. This is actually probably a good way to see how these mattes are going to behave on the lid, because some, for some reason, don't really work that well on the lid. But look at that. That was so... I'm repeating myself, but I'm actually like floored. This is so fucking effortless. I'm now going to take Weeping Willow on another packing brush, because I want to bring in some green, because I'm thinking of putting that green shimmer like kind of like in this area, like that, and then using the iridescent on my inner corner. Put that on my lower lash. Do I need to say anything? I want to look like the embodiment of Folklore and Evermore from Taylor Swift combined. That's what I want to give. I want to give like a depressed fairy that lives in the trees and in the roots. I'm gonna take more of that Moody Morning Glory just to add to the lower lash. I have not done like an extreme lower lash in a while. I'm bringing it down to like my cheek. I say extreme, this is probably not that extreme, but for some people it might be. I am just like enhancing the fact that I don't get much sleep. And I actually think that works so well with this colour story. Oh, that's so nice. That's actually so fucking nice. Okay, I'm gonna take my really tiny, like, brush that I love using with shimmers when I do this technique, and I'm gonna take the stunning green Emo Echidna. Echidna. It's not Echidna. Oh my god. Oopsie. Oopsie whoopsie. I'm not gonna take any glitter primer or anything, I'm just gonna kind of wing it. Hopefully this turns out as I planned, because if I don't like it, I can just put this shade on instead. This is Gladiolus? I can't read upside down. Why am I even trying? Now I'm scared to do this bright green, because I don't know if that's gonna be the vibe. Hang on, I'm having second thoughts. I feel like it might take away from like the grunginess. It'll either take away or it will enhance it. I'm not too sure. I feel like it's a bit too warm for what I want to go for. Like, I want to go for, like, again, I want to go for, like, how the song Evermore makes you feel. So actually, I've changed my mind. I'm going to go into Glum Gladiolus. I do sincerely apologise if you wanted me to use that green. I also want to use that green, but this look has, taken a different direction, and I actually really like... I want to channel more of that Evermore feeling. So I'm going to take this and just put it like that. I'm essentially doing like a cut crease motion, but with shimmer. We're now going in with Melancholy Moonflower. Again, I love that name. I'm gonna take this on the same brush, and I'm just putting that on the inner corner. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That. Oh, that is serving cunt. I don't want to put too much on my lid. I need to make sure I stop myself. Oh my god. I'm also gonna take this lightly and drag this. Like, follow the line where I put the matte shade, just so it kind of like flows. You know what? I didn't expect to do a look quite like this, but I'm so fucking happy that I did. So I'm gonna go off camera, finish up the rest of my makeup, and we'll come back to talk about the shipping experience and my final first impression. This look is giving Hoax from Folklore. I said it was Evermore, but no, this is giving Hoax, and I love Despite how fucking depressing that song is. But this is the completed look. Very contrasting to how I feel right now. Very moody and dark. So if you're curious about what I used for mascara, I of course always use the Lottie London Super Fake, and my nose is itchy. For my eyeliners, I used two. So I used both Oden's Solmane gel liners. I used the shade 14, which is like a charcoal sparkly colour, and the number 04, which is mint. I believe it's called mint. And for my lips, I thought this was the perfect opportunity to use one of my least used Kaleidos lip clays. Actually, this is my least used Kaleidos lip clay. This is Mercury Wave from Kaleidos, and this works fucking perfectly with this, like, whole moment. I could have worn lashes to really elevate this look, but I couldn't be bothered. So anyway, let's get into the look up close. Oh my fucking god. I love how it's all matte and then you have that like shine right there. I love the enhanced like eye bags. I think it just really captures like the gloominess and grunginess of this look. Okay, so let's talk about the shipping experience that I had with this palette, and then I'll talk about my like wrap up of first impressions of the formula. So I purchased this on launch day, or the day after launch day. I purchased this on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, and it retails for £54. I did use my friend Lee's code basket case to save £5.40, so the palette itself came to £48.60. However, shipping was £24. But I really didn't want to wait for this to come to Monolith. Monolith actually do stock Dieverune Cosmetics, but obviously a lot later than launch, but I really wanted to pick this up straight away. I don't know if it is available on Monolith right now. It should be at some point, if it's not already. But yeah, that took my total to £72.60, which is expensive. But, you know, at this point, you kind of have to accept international shipping from indie brands is just shit. But you know what? It's a price that I'm willing to pay, and I say that when this was literally a gift from my mum. So sorry, mumsy, you had to spend all that money. However, this only took 2 weeks to get to me. I think, to be specific, 13 days. And it was packaged really, really securely, loads of fucking bubble wrap. Like, it was kind of like if you've ordered from Cleona before, it was that level of bubble wrap. Maybe not as extreme, but similar. So it was well protected and all of that, so I can't really complain. Let's get on into talking about my first impression of this formula. Now, I know while I was doing the look, I was kind of like blank, emotionless. It's because I am still quite hungry. But now that the look is all together, I had lipstick on my teeth and you didn't tell me. But so far, I am so impressed with this matte formula. It reminds me of Blend Bunny and Glaminatrix. Really pigmented, creamy, like buttery smooth. Enough sustenance to it that it just doesn't dust away. And oh, the pigment and the blendability is just immaculate. I mean, you saw I barely had to work with this deep shade to get it like showing up and not like look patchy or anything. Purple as well. Purples are really hard to formulate. Like, cooler tones generally are harder to formulate, and this palette is full of that. So I'm really impressed with how the cool tones behaved. Like, they are immaculate. The shimmers in here, oh, they are literally like Terra Moons, like multi-chromes. So you know, so far, from only using this once, I can already see myself, like, say that this is gonna be a favorite palette in my collection. And I know that's so early to say, but it's how I feel. I love this color story. The formula is so good and I'm really excited to keep playing with it. I will hopefully get a 2 Looks Plus review with it later this month. Congratulations to Monica for Dieverune Cosmetics. I know you literally launched this brand like end of last year, so I am late to the party, but I'm so proud of you. Like, well done for fucking doing the damn thing and making such a banger. I've heard incredible things about The Moth and the Moon as well, but this one, oh, just love it. That is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do let me know, have you picked up Gloomy Gardens? Is it on your wish list? I will hopefully get some more content with this. If you'd like to see more makeup content from me, you can follow me on my Instagram. It's faerie.skye right here. I post all my looks there and I'm active on there every single day. And if you'd like to support me further, I do have my own small business, Raincloud Candles Co. We're a small queer-owned business based in the UK and we make handmade candles and wax melts. The link to shop will be down below, along with our social media if you'd like to support us. And we are working on the spring collection and can I just say, it's fucking lovely. It's fucking lovely. More details about the collection will come soon. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to have you here. And as always, stay safe, wash your hands, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.